All right, good evening, everybody. Today we're going to be doing understanding proportional relationships, practice, and problem solving. I'll be doing the odds, so let's begin with number 7. The amount of seed a landscaper uses and the area of lawn covered have a proportional relationship. Complete the table. Well, they're telling you the relationship is proportional, so we know that we can count on uh, these all being the same. As you can see here, we always take the first one's always x, and the second one's always y. We always put y over x when solving for a ratio. Okay, and so this is 50 over 2, 50 divided by 2 equals 25 over 1. So it's 25. Now 75 over 3, and that's also going to be equal to 25 over 1. Why? Because 75 divided by 3 is 25. And lastly, 100 over 4 is also going to be equal to 25 over 1. All right, let's go on to number 9. Number 8 is yours to do. Number 9 says, a wholesale club sells eggs by the dozen. Does the table show a proportional relationship? This time they're asking us if the information is proportional. Well, to do that, I have to take y over x and get the same ratio every single time. And so the first one is going to be 21 over 6. The second one would be 28 over 8. The third one would be 35 over 10. And the last one would be 49 over 14. Now all these have to have the same ratio if this is proportional, and that's what the question is asking us. Does the table show a proportional relationship? So let's get our calculator out, because this looks like some complicated math here. First one says 21 over 6. Remember, every fraction is really a division problem. So this is really 21 divided by 6. And that gives us 3.5. Next is 28 over 8. So this would be 28 divided by 8, which is also 3.5. Next one is 35 divided by 10. I already know this one's going to be 3.5, just because when dividing by 10, you move the decimal point over. But we'll go ahead and do this anyways. 35 divided by 10, 3.5. And the last one is 49 over 14. So that would be 49 divided by 14, which also equals 3.5. Now that I know every single one of these ratios is the same, I can say that it is proportional. So does the table show a proportional relationship? Yes. Explain. See, well, all ratios of y over x are equivalent. All right, let's go on to number 11. Does the table show a proportional relationship? If so, what is the value of y when x is 10? All right, well, first we've got to find out if this table is proportional. We can go ahead and use our calculator once again. Well, we see that we've got some mixed numbers over here, and in order for us to do this correctly, we need to realize we've got a fraction and a fraction. This first one, for instance, is going to really be, let's see, 1 2/3 divided by 5. Well, we have to turn this mixed number into an improper fraction, and 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So this would be 5 over 2. Divided by 5. Well, when we have a fraction divided by a fraction, we have to remember to use keep, change, flip. So this is actually going to become 5 over 2. Let's see, 5 over 2. And we're going to have to multiply this to, well, the opposite of 5 over 1 is 1 over 5. Now I realize we can cross out this 5, and this is really going to be 1/2. So, according to this, the very first one is going to be 1/2. All right? Yep. So, the next one here is 2 over 6. Well, 2 over 6, 2 goes into 6 3 times, so we know that's going to be 1/3. So maybe this first one's 1/2, but the second one is 1/3. And now for this fourth one, we've got 2 and 1/3 over 7. Once again, I have to take this mixed number, turn it into an improper fraction. That would be 3 times 2 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7. So this is going to equal 7 over 3 divided by 7. Well, once again, we can use KFC to turn this to 7 over 3. And we're going to multiply it to 1 over 7. And right here, I'm starting to notice a mistake that I made early on that I'm going to have to correct. We'll cross out the 7's here. This would be 1/3. And that mistake is I realize over here, this is a 3. So this should have been 5 over 3. And that would have made this 1/3 as well. So I'm glad I caught that now before I went on too far. So that gave us 1/3. The second one was 1/3, and now this third one is 1/3. And this last one here is 2 and 2/3. Let's see, 2 and 2/3 divided by 8. Well, 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 plus 2 is 8. So this is going to equal 8 over 3 divided by 8. Using KFC, this would be 8 over 3 times 1 over 8. And again, we can cross out those 8's, leaving this with 1/3. So we've got 1/3 as the ratio for y over x in every single one of these, which means it is proportional. Does it have a proportional relationship? First, the answer is yes. Now it says, if so, what is the value of x or of y when x is 10? Well, let's see, they want to know what is y when x is 10. Right? Remember, it's y over x. And the ratio is 1/3, so we'll be multiplying this by 1/3. Well, using cross multiplication, we know that 10 times 1, which is 10, is going to have to be equal to 3 times y, which is 3y. And now I know I have to divide 3 away from 3y, which means I have to divide it from 10. And now I see that, well, y has to equal 10/3, which is really 3 1/3. All right, 10/3, 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 left over. So let's see, the value of y equals 3 1/3. That should take care of number 11. Now we can go on to, well, 12 is yours to do, so that leaves 13 for me to do. Let's see, on number 13 it says, do the two tables show the same proportional relationship between x and y? Explain. Well, to show the same proportional relationship, they'd have to have the same ratio. So let's go ahead and check this out. First one is 360 over 160. So let's do that one. 360 over 160. It's also going to have 1,125 divided by 500. It's also going to have 2,700 divided by 1,200. So let's find out what the ratios are for each of these. And I'm going to do this quickly with the calculator. We see that 360 divided by 160 that's going to be 2.25. Oh, 2.25. Now we've got 1,125 divided by 500. And that's also 2.25. And next we have 2,700 divided by 1,200. That's also 2.25. So I know this first table is proportional and its ratio is 2.25. Now I got to see if this second one is going to equal the same thing. Well, the first one is 4.5 over 2. Second one will be 11.25 over 5. And the last one's going to be 15.75 over 7. All right, let's give it a shot. About 4.5 divided by 2. That's going to be 2.25. And the next one is 11.25 divided by 3, or excuse me, divided by 5, that's 2.25. And the last one is 15.75. That's divided by 7. That's also 2.25. Well, now I know that the second one also has a proportional relationship, and the ratio is 2.25. Let's go back to the question. The question states, do the two tables show the same proportional relationship between x and y? Explain how you know. Well, that's easy. The answer is yes. Because the relationship between x and y are all equivalent I'm sorry, got that wrong. Equivalent to 2.5. Oh, 2.25, excuse me. All right, that looks like it for me. The rest are going to be for you to do. And sorry it took this video so long to get to you, but you do have a couple of days to work it. So see you in class Monday.